Tuesday, September the 3rd, gang. I wore my Ringer Run shirt in honor of the 3 miles that we're gonna run today. If you had watched our Labor Day video, I think that we had planned to at least somewhat foreshadow what you might expect to see on Tuesday, because our Labor Day partner workout didn't have any. Oddly enough, for as beautiful as it was, we didn't have any running, we didn't have any rowing, we didn't have any bikes, no skiing, nothing really outside of the jump rope that we could consider monostructural or specifically cardio in nature. And so that's what you have today. I like to think of today as a palate cleanser. I mean, think about the fact that two things. One, we don't have a lot of time left before, Laura and I don't love the program running even when it's a little bit cold, because we wouldn't do it ourselves, so we wouldn't make you do it. But also, it's the week between cycles, and we're starting to get a little bit further and further away from that training that we had done, gearing us up for the 5K, the Ringer Run that we did back in June, and let's see if we still got some of that juice left. So today's workout combines formats that we typically see on a Thursday with aerobic capacity, with more high cardio, more steady state zone 2-ish type of cardio. In other words, you're not going to run your fastest miles today. You're not going to even row your fastest or your hardest. Maybe you will, maybe some people will, but it's not necessarily the expectation. So we combine formats that you would typically see on Thursday with a different stimulus, where the stimulus is that aerobic capacity. What does that mean? You have a 12-minute window to run a mile, and then with whatever time is remaining, you're going to row as many calories as you can before finally taking a long 3-minute rest just to recover. So a couple of things about that. Number one, back when we were practicing or training for a 5K, we got to a point where we felt pretty confident saying, like, everyone's got at least a 10-minute mile. Now, I know that there are some people for whom that is maybe not true still. So the question that you have to ask yourself is, do I have a mile time? It's not gonna be my fastest mile. It's just gonna be like a calm jog. But do I have one that's at least under 12 minutes at a minimum, right? Because if your mile time is 12 minutes, then theoretically you could just do a three miles as your workout today. You never get to the row. And if that's you, then maybe that's what you need today. For others still who are like, no, I still want to get that row stimulus in as well, then you need to figure out what is a fair distance for you to run. And I think that, there's not a lot of people who fit that category, but for each of those people, it would be a different distance. Right? I think it's probably more than 800 meters, maybe more like 1,000 meters if you really, really don't like to run. If you are someone who cannot run and instead need to do something different, then I would suggest a bike that is 4,000 meters, a 4,000 meter bike. Okay, so what else can I tell you about this workout? I tend to take the first round and as like a test. So my first mile today was about 8:30, which is not like me at all. My miles 2 and 3 were both almost exactly a minute, 8 minutes, just around 8 minutes. So I was able to knock off a good amount of time once I understood how it was going to feel on my body. The row, you are rowing pretty hard, knowing that you do have a 3-minute rest period after each round. And of course, 3 minutes is on the high end of rest periods. I never want to rest really more than 3 minutes unless the stimulus is 3 separate workouts, 3 completely separate workouts separated by 5 minutes. Maybe I could see that. So we don't love anything longer than 3 minutes unless it's for the purpose of logistics and fitting people onto different machines and stuff like that. So the thing this is sort of anecdotal. This is just Coach Tim prolonging a video. What I want you guys to do during the 3-minute rest today is notice about yourself whether or not your heart rate comes down, because a big run, a mile run, a somewhat intense row are going to jack up your heart rate a little bit. Not maximal, but certainly zone 2, zone 3, upwards of zone 4 at the most. And 3 minutes should be plenty of time if you are someone who trains with us frequently to feel like you can get back to baseline. 3 minutes can get you right back to like almost, I don't want to say fresh, but like a normal resting heart rate, maybe slightly above. And if you can't get to that in 3 minutes, then it just says a little bit about where you are aerobically right now. It means these kinds of workouts are important for you. So if you have a heart rate monitor, even easier to be able to recognize something like that. And if you don't have a heart rate monitor, would never even consider something like that, then it's just about feel. You know, recognize how you feel after your 3 minutes of rest and go, yeah, I feel pretty recovered. This run will go okay. Or are you still pretty jacked up after that, at the end of that 3 minutes of rest, and feel like, I could have used a few more minutes of rest here. Because that ability to quickly recover and bring our heart rate right back down to normal in only, say, 2 or 3 minutes is part of what our training regimen is supposed to be doing. Not just Tuesdays, but also Thursdays and our intense workouts as well. These things should combine to give us an ability to recover that people who just go to like Gold's Gym or, Planet Fitness don't have. People who just lift, they don't have that, because CrossFit is a recovery sport, if nothing else. And workouts like this let us know how we're doing in that regard. All right, guys, enjoy.